Welcome to Episode 1, The Power of Neutrality, Letting Go Without Losing Yourself, an original from the Hidden Shelves, Keys from the Hidden Path. This is a space where wisdom isn't taught, it's remembered, where stillness becomes your compass, and your everyday moments become sacred invitations to return to yourself. Neutrality is not indifference, it is not disengagement. It is the rooted strength to stay whole when the world tugs at your edges. To be neutral is to see clearly, without being pulled by story, fear, or reaction. It is to pause and choose presence over protection. Let us explore this through lived moments. Moments you know too well. Scenario 1, the subtle trigger. You're in the kitchen. Warm lights above you, the scent of dinner still lingering in the air. You're speaking with someone close. A partner, a friend, your sibling. The conversation drifts comfortably until they say it. A phrase, a joke, a casual remark that grazes a scar you've carried far longer than you show. It lands wrong. Your body tightens before your mind catches up. Your breath shortens. Your heart beats faster. You feel the armor rising, the impulse to defend, to correct, to reclaim your truth. But something in you notices this pattern. Not with judgment, but with awareness. You pause. You breathe, long and deep. You feel the heat, but you don't become it. You let the wave pass without lashing out, without folding in. You respond, not to prove, but to remain whole, not to silence them, but to honor your own clarity. The conversation ends, and you feel intact. No residue, no regret, no fracture in your sense of self. This is neutrality, not coldness, but clarity, not passivity, but power rooted in stillness. And in that breath, you return to yourself. Let's take a closer look at a different scenario, because neutrality isn't only forged in close conversation, it's revealed in the heat of fast-moving spaces where expectations, ego, and urgency often collide. Scenario 2, the workplace confrontation. You're in a meeting room. Fluorescent lights hum above, a screen flickers with slides, voices overlap in polite tension. You've spent weeks refining a project, pouring your energy into the details. Then, it happens. A colleague casually claims the credit. Your name is left unspoken. You feel the blood rush to your face. Your fists curl under the table. The narrative forms quickly in your mind. They did it again. You're invisible. You need to speak up. Now. But instead of erupting, you stay still. You breathe into the storm. You feel the heat, but you don't let it lead. You remind yourself, this moment is not the whole truth. You choose presence over performance. You observe, not with passivity, but with wisdom. Later, when the noise settles, you find a quiet moment. You speak to the person directly, not from ego, not from vengeance, but from centeredness. You name the truth, calmly, firmly, without needing them to shrink for you to rise. That is sovereignty. That is the sacred power of neutrality. And in that composure, you return to yourself. Let us reflect for a moment. Neutrality is not the absence of emotion. It is the space that allows emotion to be seen without becoming your master. It is the breath between the pain and the projection. It is the pause where reaction alchemizes into response. Neutrality doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough to stay conscious, even when your wound wants the last word. It is not detachment from life. It is deeper alignment with your truth. And in that sacred stillness, you return to yourself. To summarize, in this episode, you were invited to remember that neutrality is not weakness, it's presence with power. You explored how emotional charge often arises from old patterns. But neutrality doesn't demand you silence your feelings. It offers you the space to feel them without being ruled by them. Through two very real moments, one in the warmth of relationship, the other in the cold glare of professional pressure, you remembered that your greatest strength lies not in control or confrontation, but in your ability to pause. You were shown that neutrality isn't about removing yourself from life. It's about showing up with such depth of presence that you no longer collapse into it or fight against it. Neutrality becomes your sacred ground, the place you return to when your identity is triggered, when your story wants to defend, when your voice wants to shout. In that ground, you don't lose yourself, you become yourself. Thank you for walking with us today, not just in thought, but in presence. In a world that rewards urgency and reaction, your stillness is a quiet revolution. Each time you choose neutrality, you carve a deeper path back home. Where in your life are you still reacting from the wound, instead of responding from your wholeness? And what would shift if you chose neutrality, not as avoidance, but as sacred self-remembrance? If this message resonated, share your reflection in the comments. Let this be a shelf where your presence leaves a mark. Your truth may unlock a key for someone still learning to return to themselves.